This is my wide-body E46. And this is my current head unit setup. And I was installing head units just like this in my cars about 15 years ago. So that's why I've spent over £300 on a complete car entertainment system with upgraded Alpine speakers, Apple CarPlay, wires and also adapters to go with it, along with some sound deadening too. Currently in this car we do have a complete stock sound system, and although this car's from the early 2000s, I like my technology from the modern day. There's nothing like having a bit of Apple CarPlay in an old car just to give you that modern touch but still get to drive a really cool old car. So by the end of this video we're going to have a full Apple CarPlay system and upgraded speakers just to make that driving experience a little bit better, especially on those longer journeys. Oh, and for those of you that are wondering about the wrap, it has been ordered. It is going to get delivered a week tomorrow, so stay tuned. I promise you the wrap video is coming. Some of you have guessed the colour in one of my previous videos. I think it was the wide body part 3, so some of you have guessed correctly. I know you're going to love this colour and I think it's phenomenal, so stay tuned, that is coming. First things first, I need to take the trim off from the dashboard. That allows me to get access to the screws that are holding the head unit in. Then I can take them off and start unplugging all the electrics that are holding this in the car. The new head unit we're putting in the car is a double DIN screen. For those of you who don't know what a double DIN is, it's this. It's basically double the size of this slot. So that means we do have this in the way, and that is our heater controls. Now, I believe, I haven't done it, but I think this just pulls out. I don't think it's screwed in, and this also pulls out this little cubby. So we should be able to put the heater controls down here, because in some models of the BMW, the heater controls are down here because you can get sat nav, I think, and some better entertainment systems. This one's obviously not too high of a spec as far as that's concerned. So I need to get this framework out and also pull this out. So that sounded aggressive, but it's just these metal clips holding it in. Now I can take the 4 screws out that are holding this bracket in, that held in the original head unit and also the temp controls. It was a little bit annoying to get out because it sits under the vents, but with a little pulling, managed to get there. After unplugging all the connectors to the temp controls, I can remove the original shroud, push all the connectors through to free it up and make some space. Speaking of space, it's time to get rid of this cubby and make room for the temperature controls to be moved down there. By moving the wires down and plugging them in, I can refit the heater controls to this bottom slot like they would have from factory in some other spec'd cars. The new head unit comes with all of this wiring. And trust me when I say I hate wiring, and I'm kind of useless at wiring. Now I don't know what you are. Power, that's a big one. That looks like you. Right, something isn't right. Because the car's not on, but the screen's on. Something is wired wrong, but the old head unit used to do that too. I mean, that's cool. But why are you on? Right, that was an absolute faff, and whoever wired up this old head unit is an absolute mong. So, I'm going to unplug this now. There's nothing wrong with this in-on system unit, nothing wrong with it at all. I could see a little bit of damage to number 5 and number 9, and after doing some research online and looking for a wiring diagram of the E46 standard head unit wiring diagram, 5 and 9 give you your power. I think 5 was the remote power, so only when the ignition is on, 5 gives power, and 9 is the constant power. And I could see here, these all look ideal, perfect as they should be, but there was a little bit of damage to 5 and 9, and they've been swapped. Like I said, the old head unit used to stay on, but the beauty was you could just pull out the face and it would reduce it, but over time the battery would go dead, so I assume that's probably what was doing it. I just never dug into it. Now I've done that, this isn't all plugged in, I've just plugged in the power, but now I've done that, the ignition's off, if I plug this back in, it doesn't turn on. However, give it a sec, it's on. So we have solved it. That's our power issues. So now it's time to get the rest of this plug back in and put it all back together and start with the speakers. So it turns out that's not actually the right way to wire up this head unit. I've actually linked the light switch to the head unit somehow. So if I turn the lights off, the head unit goes off. Fortunately, the lights are on automatic, therefore the head unit is going to work. But do not follow this process, it's not correct. It just worked for me at the time and I thought I was an absolute genius. Turns out, like I said, I'm no good with wiring. We're all good. Let's go on with installing these speakers. So for the front of the E46, we've got a tweeter, which is a little speaker up here, and we've got the main speaker down here. And the kit that I've bought comes with tweeters and main speakers. So we will be replacing both of these. We've had the door cards off, so I'm not going to show that again. However, I'm hoping this is a plug and play kit because, again, it comes with adapters and also comes with wires, so well, direct plug. So it should be plug and play to the 46 system. Fingers crossed, because that is a pain in the arse and head units are always a bit of a pain. Nothing ever seems to be plug and play. However, I have bought sound deadening. Now, sound deadening should deaden the sound. It says what it does on the tin, but old cars don't have sound or as much sound deadening as new cars. So when you shut the door, it sounds quite tinny. So this will go on the inside of the door, basically the metal part. So it should help not lose some of the bass and not lose some of the sound out to the metal, and also shouldn't vibrate the metal as much. Should help with vibration, should help with even vibrate there, can't talk. Even vibration when you close the door. So we're going to see if that makes a difference to the sound as well as the speakers. So I'm going to get the door card off now. Like I said, I've shown you it before, so we'll just speed through it, get this off and see what the situation is with the speakers. And if you haven't seen me do this before, it is simply 5 bolts and a bunch of clips holding this door card to the door. So you simply undo the bolts and yank the clips to get the door card free. And just like that, one door is removed. We're going to take this inside and have a look because the lighting's better in there. Winter time, we're losing light. Whilst we have a little bit of light, I'm going to try and put some of this sound deadening inside here. Now, this is in very good condition and doesn't look like it's been touched in the past. So I'm going to try my best not to rip it. It is glued on, so I'm going to pull it out from underneath here and I should be able to get inside the door. Might have to put the window up and be able to put some sound deadening on the door. So we'll give that a go now. Now, this was quite a delicate process, but with my Stanley blade and patience, I managed to free the glue from the foam and start putting in the sound deadening to try and improve the sound quality on this car. So you can see this is sound deadening from factory, which is tiny little bit, but I've managed to put that sound deadening up there and down there in that corner too. Bit dark, but you can just about see it down there. In the garage, it's time to get the door speakers on. It is obviously very dark outside now, but it's winter time. It's only 7 o'clock. So I'm going to probably get the door speakers done now and get the rear parcel shelf speakers done tomorrow, because these come with speakers in the parcel shelf from standard. So door speakers now, then we'll catch up with you guys tomorrow and do that and test out what it sounds like. So let's get that done. But I can't wait to get this car wrapped, man. Look at that. It's just so cool. Honestly, no matter how much I look at this car, I cannot get over just how wide it is and how cool it looks. Right, door speakers, let's go. It was at this point that I realised the footage has been corrupted, so I can't actually show you me installing this speaker and tweeter, but don't worry, in about 2 minutes you'll see me install it on the other door. Right, it is a few days later. As you guys saw, it got dark, so I stopped, and the weather's been terrible, and I've kind of picked up a new project, which you guys have already seen if you watch the channel. So I now need to move the BMW onto the drive, get the Mini off of the drive, so we can continue installing these speakers and see what they sound like. It's always dead. Oh, didn't even want to open that then. Oh, don't say you haven't got any battery. My jumper pack doesn't have battery. Ah! I don't have cables. Hey. I just got to charge my jump pack. The beam is dead, so let's move the Mini whilst the jump pack is charging. Whilst I wait for the battery pack to get a little bit more charge, I'm going to install these connectors to these speakers and get these speakers put in the back of the BMW in the parcel shelf. I can do that where it sits because it should be, once I put these on, take off the shroud, unclip and unbolt the original ones and put these in, reclip, rebolt, should be done, that simple. So I'm going to do that now, and then I'll move the BMW to the driveway, get the passenger side door speaker done, and then see how all the speakers and the new head unit sound all together. So let's crack on and connect these to these now. After unboxing the speakers, I simply used crimp connectors that slide straight onto the pins of the new speakers. I know this isn't the best method, and some people would say I should have soldered it, but like I said earlier, I'm not the best with wiring, so crimp connectors are perfect for me, and they'll do the job. Now, I don't actually know because I've not done this, but the kit also comes with these for the back as well, which I'm assuming we're going to need, but we'll find out. I've not actually done this before, I've not removed these, so I'm hoping that they simply pop up like so. Oh. Right. I may have wasted my money a little bit. Now, these have been done already, and I'm assuming that's the same. Oh, let me grab you guys. So, I hadn't obviously looked at these yet, and just to prove a point, these are my speakers, and these are the speakers that are in there already. They obviously have the same bit, actually they're a bit bigger, so they're probably better to keep. They have the same like dual, I can't remember what it's called, but the same second bit, the little dual tweeter that's on it. So they're bigger, they're probably better, so I'm going to leave them in. If they're not better, they're not going to be worse. They're the exact same speakers. I think they're the same as what I've got in the front, but with that dual tweeter bit in it. So that saves me a job, but is a little bit annoying because I've obviously paid money for these. However, I may be able to reuse these in the future elsewhere. So that's fine. I guess we'll pop this back on, try and get this on the driveway and do that front door. We have the smallest bit of charge on this and absolutely no battery in this because that won't even open. So hopefully we've got enough to get this thing started. I don't think that is the right signs that I'm looking for. In the spirit of not wasting any more time, I'm going to wait for that to charge even further so we can test it out, but probably just do the whole door speaker here instead. So let's get this off quickly. You guys have seen me do this before, you don't need to watch it again. I'm going to get this off, get this in the garage and put that new speaker in this, refit it, hopefully the battery's charged, we can test it out. There we go, one door card. Let's get this in the garage, get the speaker changed over, tweeter changed over, back on the door. After unbolting the old speakers, there's a plastic shroud that I need to remove. Then I can place the new shroud adapter in place along with the new speaker and bolt them both in place. After that, I use the same crimp connectors I've used a minute ago for the main speaker. For the tweeters, I have to cut the original connectors off and use a different style of crimp connector that connects wire to attach to the tweeters. And just like that, we have this door done too. So as you saw me do on the previous door, and on this, we've got the tweeter that's wired into the original plug, and we've got the new speaker also wired into the original plug. I'm going to go fit this on the BMW door, and I think I've got enough charge for at least one start. So I'm going to fit this on the door, then start it, then I can test it and see how it all goes, and also make sure that those rear speakers work too. It was mainly the door speakers that were blowing and that were a bit naff, so those rear speakers should be fine, the parcel shelf speakers should be fine. So we're going to get this in and see where we go from there. Right, as you can see, lights fading, but we've got a couple of bars on the jump pack, so let's try it one more time and see if she wants to start, if she wants to actually open the boot first. Ready? Oh, she didn't want to. She did not want to, but she started. So hopefully you guys can hear me properly. Obviously I've got to leave the car running because we've got no battery. So I'm going to see if that side works, and also test out with you guys in the car to see if it makes any difference. Here's a quick before.
Said and done for me, you'll never love me now, but you'll never know you got me so.
That is so tinny. Right, now let's test to see if that's working and to see what it sounds like. It is working, so I've done something right. Let's see, wait for that bass to kick in. Finally, we got there. This thing is so much better with a better sound system in it. I'm not sure if you'll be able to hear the difference on microphone on the camera, but it is night and day different once you're driving the car with the loud exhaust. So banging its chains is a bit more dailyable as a wide body car. But what's next for the BMW? I'm prepping it for wrap this weekend. I'm waiting for Mark over the next 2 or 3 weeks to give me some unit space. He's clearing out some space for me in a heated unit so I can wrap this car. The wrap is here and the colour is phenomenal, but you guys are going to have to wait for that video to see the colour of the wrap. Next is a video on the Mini. We obviously have the Mini now. If you watched my last video released on the channel, it's a Mini video. If you haven't seen that, go in the top right now and catch that video. But the next video is mods for the Mini, and that is coming strong out the bat with some great mods for that car. So I'll catch you guys in that video, and in a couple of weeks I'm going to get this wrap video out. Trust me, I'm waiting just as much as you guys are. I cannot wait. It's worth sticking around for. The colour is unreal. That's all from me. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.